Hey, this is Shiraz, personal development coach. I have set myself a challenge to change your perception of failure and understand failure is actually a good thing. So, if I was to ask you the question, who here is afraid to fail? Would you honestly raise your hands and say, yes, you know what, Shiraz, I am afraid to fail? Or would you let your ego stand in the way of saying, no, nothing to be afraid of, I'm not afraid to fail? Let me just tell you, if you have lowered your goals of what you wanted to achieve in life, if you are staying within your comfort zone, or if you set goals that you know full well you can achieve, then by default, my friend, unfortunately you do have a fear of failure. Otherwise, you would have had some big, hairy, audacious goals and you would have gone for them. Failure is not a bad thing in itself. So look, society has us believing that failure is actually something to be fearful of. Failure is nothing nice. Whether it's our parents, whether it's our teachers, whether it's society, friends, family, tell us if you go after something, you don't achieve it, then you're deemed a failure. And we then psychologically think we're going to have this label on us saying, I'm a failure. And people aren't going to like us for that. So in order to not have that label, people don't even try to achieve the things that they know they can do if they were committed to taking the actions. And understanding failure is simply a bridging step towards success. Everyone who has succeeded in life has failed and failed and failed and failed and failed till they succeeded. So, look, we can take lessons from history. History, on the other hand, in comparison to what society has told us, tells us something different. History proves to us the likes of, say, Thomas Edison, who took credit from Nikola Tesla. Obviously, the cognoscenti, the people in the know, it was Tesla. Obviously, the naive, who just believe whatever's told to them, believe it was Thomas Edison. Anyway, that's a side issue. Edison was asked, how does it feel to have failed nearly 10,000 times in the production of the incandescent light bulb? His assistant's response was, this sucks. We wasted so much blood, sweat and tears. I'm just glad he's paying me, otherwise I would have given up a long time ago. Now, Edison's response was, we have been successful in finding out 10,000 ways that have not worked, which means by the process of elimination, we are so much closer to finding out what will work. So you see, all he did was have a different perception on failure and not seeing failure as being a bad thing, seeing failure as a good thing that he could learn from and move forward. There's been many, many other people in history who have proven failure then leads to success. Napoleon Bonaparte, the little French munchkin dictator, which I know may not be a politically correct thing to say. However, he failed to impress his teachers. He was actually 42nd out of 43 in his class in France, but it didn't stop him from creating an army he built by himself to take over the world until he lost in 1815, I think. George Washington, as we're in November, we're coming to Thanksgiving. Here's a guy who lost who failed in 2/3 of his military battles, yet went to win the Revolutionary War and change American history forever. Albert Einstein was considered a slow learner, was actually advised to drop physics, drop out of school. He failed to impress his teachers, but that didn't stop him from becoming the father of the atomic age. People in life, all the people that you admire, all your idols, everybody has failed and failed and failed and failed until they succeeded. The only difference is they didn't stop when they failed. That's the key thing. Only when you consider failure as final will you finally be a failure. Let me say that one more time. Only when you consider failure as final will you finally be a failure. The opinions of others doesn't matter, okay? The only opinion that matters is yours. Now in NLP, neuro-linguistic programming, there's a saying that we say, which is, there is no such thing as failure, only feedback. You go and do something, you get feedback. The feedback is either you've achieved what you wanted to achieve, or the feedback is you haven't achieved what you wanted to achieve. However, what can you learn from that experience and take to carry on moving forward and moving forward and moving forward until you achieve your success? Let's take just to finish this off, let's take a simple example of when we were babies, when we were learning to walk and talk. We may have fallen 100 times, but here's the thing, we got back up 101. We didn't have the mindset or the concept of failure being a bad thing, and hence we thought, no, I'm going to carry on. I'm going to do this. And guess what? Majority of humans, as adults, we walk. If we take the mindset of adults now, in terms of how many times would you have stopped before achieving your success in terms of being able to learn to walk? Would you have given up after 10, 20, 30? Would you have even ventured into the realms of going to 100 times to try and see if this thing works? Or would you have stopped very, very shortly after not getting the result that you wanted? KFC, Colonel Sanders, he took this, when he retired, he had this paycheck and he's like, I can't live off this. So he took the recipe for his chicken to 1,000 doors. He had 1,000 doors slammed in his face. And he even said, just, we'll share the profits. You don't have to pay me for this, but we'll share from the profits. Now people thought, well, what do you know? Slammed the door in his face. He continued. Let's just say KFC is where it is because of his persistence, because of his perception that failure is not a bad thing. Having doors closed in your face is not a bad thing. So whatever you're trying to achieve for 2019, whatever it may be, whether it's with regards to your health, your relationships, your career, physically, financially, emotionally, spiritually, socially, whatever it is that you want to go for, I am telling you, my friend, go for it. If you don't get the result that you want, carry on. If you don't get the result that you want, carry on and on and on. And I guarantee you, I will take a challenge with you. If you have the concept of understanding failure is your friend, you, my friend, will achieve the success that you want to.